Welcome. My name is Tanya. I work as an HLTA for SEATs. I'd like to share a few ideas which may help you support your child's organisation as they start their new school. So, where to begin? Your child's room might be worrying you. You may be thinking, how will my child ever be organised enough to cope with secondary school? This may be a familiar scene to you, and it looks like chaos, doesn't it? But what I discovered, despite constantly losing things, was that this was my son's filing system. If he couldn't see something, and most of his things were on the floor, it didn't exist. Many of our SEN students will need support with organisation. Dyslexic children, for example, may have difficulties with executive function, in spite of strong intellectual skills and unaffected language ability. One area covered by executive function is organisation and planning, and this will need a lot of support. Don't panic. Start with a conversation. What does the word organisation mean to them? It might help to start with their own ideas on organisation and then look together at a dictionary definition. Discuss what it actually means and how working on their skills around organisation might help them cope with the new demands of secondary school, for instance, juggling several pieces of homework and deadlines. Do they know what to expect from their new school routine? Knowing what to expect will help lessen any anxiety and leave them better able to manage. What are they expecting from secondary school, and do they or you need help with this? Once they know what to expect, ask them what would they do differently compared to how they have approached homework until now. Remember, this will be a process. It will take time and lots of practice to get used to new routines. Make sure to praise any improvement. Change is never easy. You will find some ideas work better than others. Give things a little while to start, but if they really aren't working for your child, try something else. Be flexible. Work with your child's interests and strengths where you can and reward the progress. Seek support and ideas from school and the internet and elsewhere. The ideas here are just suggestions to get you thinking. It might help to continue ideas being used at school, or you might find something brilliant on the internet or in an app. Don't worry, it's easy to think you can't help much, but your support at home will make a huge difference to your child's success. You will be important support for them. They may not seem to appreciate it, and they may be a bit grumpy when they get home, but you are their safe zone and they've worked hard all day to keep up, so don't take it personally. Let's start by looking at the school bag. Packing the right things and how to help ensure they don't forget something. Now, the school bag is going to be extremely important to them. They'll be carrying it every day, and it's going to be very personal to them. It would be a good idea to keep copies of their timetables pinned near where they drop their bag at home, and have a box to keep all their books there as well. Keep a checklist of other things they will need too. Things like an Oyster card, their front door keys, pencil case, lunch and water, those things that they're going to be keeping with them every day. Establish a routine to check their timetable and pack the bag each evening. This would be a good time to remove any rubbish or leftover lunch too. Normally a good time to find banana skins. Remember, their bag can get pretty heavy, and it's tempting for many students to keep all their books in their bag all the time, rather than risk forgetting something. This is not only bad for their bags, it stops them from gaining the skills they need to develop in organisation and independence. Supporting a routine now will help later by forming good habits. Keeping a resource box. Keeping all the things your child will need for their bag or for homework in one place might be helpful. I came across this idea from Dyslexia Scotland. You can find them on YouTube. Previously, I'd suggested keeping a space somewhere at home for this, but a box adds the flexibility of keeping things wherever the school bag is dropped, and it can be easily moved to wherever the homework is completed. There are lots of plastic crates or trunks with handles available, so as with all the ideas on this video, choose what works for you. This box could keep all their books, pens, highlighters, paper, homework sheets, homework folder, anything they might need to either pack their bag or do their homework. You might also include a mini whiteboard, post-it notes, a calculator, a ruler, their reading book, a dictionary, coloured paper, and possibly a timer. Providing a sense of time can help with focus and keeps tasks manageable if the work is chunked into smaller blocks of time. Having everything together also saves the stress of finding things too, which otherwise might also affect their motivation for the homework tasks. Colour code books to subjects to match their timetables, and we'll talk about timetables shortly. And then keeping this box close to where they leave their bag or do their homework means things don't easily get lost. Making use of schedules, task lists, planners, calendars, etc. This will help your child understand what to do, when to do it, or how to do it, where to go and when, what to expect, what will be needed in terms of equipment or any other things, and then this will promote organisation and independence, aid recall and memory, prepare for change, and consolidate their learning. Which you choose will be dependent on what your child prefers. There are numerous types and versions available in print, online, or using apps. The choice is almost endless. What they all offer is a way to structure tasks, events, ideas in a way which will help your child manage. Timetables are so important at secondary school and will be looked at several times a day, often in a hurry. Help to make their timetable as easy to read as possible and to personalise them. Add pictures if preferred. Colour coordinate with their books to subjects. Keep spare copies. Keep timetables visible at home, so that might mean having one laminated and on the wall wherever they drop their bag, one in their room, maybe one on the fridge, wherever they're visible to them. Make a mini timetable for their blazer pocket, easy to get to and quick to read. Now that's something I did for my own children and it proved really useful. So let's just do a quick run through of how to make a mini timetable. When your child receives their timetable, it can look a little bit confusing. Most secondary schools have a 2-week timetable, so you'll have 2 blocks of lessons. Week 1 happens on the first week, and then the timetable moves to week 2. When that week is completed, they rotate back to week 1. Timetables often look a bit confusing and extremely boring and quite hard to read if you're going in a hurry. What I would suggest is that you start by colour coding the different weeks, highlighting when the break times in school are, so break time in the morning and lunchtime. That also visually breaks up the day so it doesn't look so intimidating. Next, I would colour code all of the subjects, and this is something that you do with your child, see what their preference is. Maybe certain books in school are one colour and that might help. So for instance, on here we might have every maths lesson is blocked out in a pink, every English lesson in blue, geography in green, and so on. Now your child may also want to put pictures on. They might prefer pictures rather than text, or they might like both. Whatever works for your child. Once the timetable looks the way that they find easiest to read, I would suggest either reducing it on your computer, scanning it, or photocopying it and reducing it. Make it a size that fits easily into their top blazer pocket. Once you're happy with that size, cut the timetable down the middle and then glue the two sides together, but upside down from each other, so that when they twist the card one way or the other, they always have the timetable the right way up. When that's completed, you can either put it through a laminator if you have one, or maybe the school would help with that, or you can just use some plain sticky back plastic. So a quick and easy way of getting a timetable that they can reference straight away from their top pocket, rather than scraping around in the bottom of their bag or looking for their planners when they're in a hurry. Now, having visual reminders, to-do lists, or task prompts can be as simple as a piece of paper or a post-it note, but you might want to produce something more attractive or more durable. There are lots of possibilities offered through technology, and we'll look at those. A simple Word document can offer lots of possibilities too. All the icons used here were available on Word, while the internet could offer limitless possibilities, or a photograph might work best of all. Visual prompts have lots of benefits and will help with memory and structure, helping put tasks in order. You can ask yourself a few questions before you start. What does your child need most help with remembering? Where would the best place be to keep your reminders? How often do they need reminding? What would they prefer to see? Like short words or phrases, pictures, or both? And how are they doing these sorts of things at school? Technology offers endless opportunities to support your child's organisation. Make use of reminders, alarms, calendars and to-do lists on their phone, iPad or laptop. For example, Google Calendar and Keep. Use computer, iPad or phone apps, e.g. Hatch and Study Bunny, to help with timing. Apps like these set timers and add rewarding activities to add some interest. Explore YouTube for helpful videos. YouTube offers all sorts to help with ideas for different ways to use technology or to make organisation easier. Use prepared calendars and schedules available on your computer and on the internet to print and pin up in your child's workspace or wherever else will be useful. For instance, when you open a new document on Microsoft Word, there are templates available for a range of calendars and schedules which you can customize to suit. And then be familiar with the school's homework app. Most schools now use an online homework app which teachers add homework to every week, so you can always check what needs to be done. Homework can often be uploaded online too, and for some subjects like maths, teachers can see each child's activity and engagement with the homework. Supporting homework. Help establish a routine. Where? Find a space where your child can work without too many distractions comfortably. When? Agree a time with them and establish a routine they can stick to. Perhaps allow some wind down time straight after school, or time for after school activities. How long and how often will depend on the task they have, but it's better to chunk work into manageable pieces rather than insisting it's all done at once. If a task seems too big to start with, it's easy for them to lose motivation before they've even begun, or for it to cause them anxiety. Help them help themselves. Keep a schedule of what needs to be done and by when. Prioritise what needs to be done first. Try and get them to estimate how long each piece of work should take, but support them with that. Keep a homework folder in their bag. Know how to check their online homework app with them. Encourage attendance at a school's homework club. Many schools do have homework clubs now, and students can work alongside friends, have access to computers and the school library, and some adult support too. Help establish good habits. Recording important information in a planner or phone. Getting into the habit of recording things in whichever way works for them avoids stress later. Passwords, dates for homework to be handed in, school trips, etc. can be recorded in a planner or on their phone. Notes or photos, it doesn't matter how, just as long as they have a method which works for them. Writing dates on all their work. Dates help keep information in chronological order, and you never know when that might be needed. My son, for example, needed help with A-level revision, and this started with retrieving soggy and torn sheets of notes stuffed at the bottom of his bag. Nothing was dated. It took a huge amount of time to put these in an order which made any sense. If they had been dated, it would have saved a lot of time and a lot of stress. Putting homework straight in their bag or in a homework folder when completed. Having a dedicated folder for homework kept in their bag avoids it being lost or torn, and it can be used to bring home any worksheets they are given too. Making it a habit to put it in their bag as soon as the work is completed is a good idea, and it keeps it away from the dog too. You could also check their homework with them, make sure it's within their capabilities, check their understanding, and contact school if needed. As mentioned earlier, if you're familiar with the homework app, you can check what's needed and know if it is achievable for them. If it seems a bit hard, they may need your support getting started. Check their understanding. If you're both unsure, have a go, but they may need to go to their teacher for clarification. If you really feel the work is unsuitable or your child is struggling, it's always good to contact the school. That might be the individual teacher, the school Senko, or the head of year. Being organised is a skill for life and one that evolves over time. It's not something that's ever completely done or completely mastered. With every new situation, I think we all consider, how will I manage this? Praise your child's achievements with organisation. Acknowledge the progress they make, however small. Praise is hugely important. It's easy for self-esteem to suffer when we're not sure what comes next, how to do things, what's expected, or we keep losing things or we miss important information. Knowing that with a little bit of support and organisation, children can get things right and show some independence has a positive impact on their self-esteem, but also on their learning. Be kind to yourself. As parents, we don't always get it right, but there is no better advocate for your child than you. And as I said at the start, this is a process of trial and error. The first thing you try may not be so helpful, but the next might be. Remember, you know your child better than anyone, but being flexible is important as every child is different. And then seek help wherever you feel stuck. Don't be afraid to ask for help. A conversation with someone from school, from another parent, or a support group might be all you need to spark an idea or access a little extra help. I hope this presentation has helped, and thank you for taking the time to watch. I wish your child every success as they begin their new school.